soy Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. Tranquilo, plata o plomo.
How can a small street criminal become the richest international drug lord, feared by many? What does it take to walk out of a jail with 600 gunmen around you, willing to defend you at any cost? The story we're going to share will make you doubt everything you thought you knew about the infamous drug lord Pablo Escobar. Consider this, a man whose wealth was limitless, who made Al Capone and Scarface look like amateurs. Pablo Escobar's life was a spectacle beyond conception, with a showmanship that would put Willy Wonka to shame and a body count that would send shivers down your spine. But let's start from the beginning, where Escobar cut his teeth with petty street frauds and thefts. Imagine a young man filled with ambition and a hunger for wealth. In his early years, Escobar honed his skills through petty street frauds and daring thefts. But it was his audacious acts that set him apart from the rest. Legend has it that he would steal gravestones, repurposing them for other customers. Talk about recycling in the most unconventional way. Escobar's criminal prowess soon led him to become the go-to car thief. His uncanny ability to dismantle vehicles and sell off the parts in record time made him a legend in the criminal underworld. And here's the twist, he even had enough influence to persuade law enforcement to turn a blind eye. Imagine having the power to make the authorities look the other way. But it was Escobar's daring and ruthless nature that truly set him apart. When people owed him money, he took matters into his own hands. He would kidnap them, holding them hostage until a hefty ransom was paid. Sometimes, he would tear up the money right in front of his captives' eyes, a chilling reminder of his unyielding power. Among his hostages was Diego Echeverria Macias, a Colombian philanthropist whose family handed over a staggering sum of $50,000 for his release. But Escobar's thirst for both money and blood proved insatiable. Instead of freeing Macias, Escobar and his men ended his life, callously keeping the money for themselves. It was a cold-blooded act that shocked the nation. Escobar's criminal empire was built upon violence and ruthlessness, but it was in the 1970s that he found his true calling. Colombia's booming cocaine trade became his ticket to unimaginable wealth and power. He ruthlessly eliminated his competitors, leaving a trail of bloodshed in his wake. Escobar's insatiable thirst for power knew no bounds. Escobar wasn't the first to smuggle cocaine internationally, but he possessed a drive and ruthlessness that set him apart from his rivals. He was willing to do whatever it took to achieve unimaginable wealth and power. His catchphrase, "silver or lead," became synonymous with the offer of bribes to officials. And let me ask you this, which law enforcement agency could resist his offer? But Escobar's rise to power was not without its setbacks. In 1975, he was caught coming over the border, leading to his infamous mugshot. However, it wasn't long before the arresting officer found himself on the wrong side of the law, paying the ultimate price for crossing the ruthless drug lord. Escobar's empire grew rapidly, and within a short span of time, he virtually monopolized Colombia's cocaine market. The money was pouring in at an astonishing rate. He was making so much cash that he had to spend $2,500 a month on plastic bans just to keep his massive wads of money organized. It's safe to say that Escobar had more money than he knew what to do with. Escobar's personal wealth skyrocketed, reaching as high as $30 billion. With this colossal fortune, he lived a life of excess and opulence. He constructed his own personal palace, complete with a private zoo filled with exotic animals. In fact, his imported hippos have now become a wild problem, breeding and roaming freely in Colombia. Despite his criminal activity, Escobar skillfully crafted a public image of a loving and caring man. How does a feared criminal mastermind maintain a public image that conceals his unlawful activities? Escobar was an outstanding showman, a genius at presenting himself as personable and compassionate to the general public. Escobar was able to establish connections with people from various backgrounds thanks to his charm and charisma. He portrayed himself as a man of the people who was aware of the difficulties faced by every typical Colombian. His charitable deeds, such as constructing housing developments and soccer fields, portrayed him as a defender of the less poor. He had a remarkable talent at persuading people that he actually cared about the well-being of those around him. He would listen to their issues and pledge to support them however he could. Escobar was skilled at influencing the media as well as his public image. He stayed in touch with powerful media who painted him as a kind person, hiding the grim truth of his illegal acts. He engaged in a high-profile affair with Virginia Vallejo, a successful television journalist who painted him as a man of the people. Escobar spared no expense in spoiling her with the luxury and experiences that only his ill-gotten wealth could afford. Escobar's immense wealth played a crucial role in maintaining his public image. He flaunted his riches, throwing lavish parties, driving luxurious cars, and owning extravagant properties. By showcasing his wealth, he projected an image of success and power, further solidifying his position as a legendary figure. Escobar was a master at creating a larger-than-life persona. He knew that by projecting an image of success and generosity, he could gain support and protection from influential individuals. His public image was carefully crafted to ensure that he was seen as a Robin Hood-like figure, robbing the rich to support the poor. This allowed him to maintain a level of popular support that shielded him from scrutiny. However, behind the carefully constructed facade, there was a dark reality. Escobar's empire was built on violence, intimidation, and the suffering of countless people. His public image served as a shield, deflecting attention from the brutal truth of his criminal activity. Escobar's ability to shape his public image was a testament to his cunning and manipulation. He used charisma, generosity, and showmanship to create a narrative that obscured the horrors of his empire. But as we peel back the layers, we will uncover the true extent of his deadly reign. Pablo Escobar, the notorious drug lord, had grand ambitions beyond his cocaine empire. He sought to expand his influence and protect his criminal operations by infiltrating the political landscape of Colombia. Escobar understood that politics provided him with a shield of immunity, a platform to manipulate policy, and a network of corrupt officials who would turn a blind eye to his illicit activities. Escobar had an uncanny ability to bribe and coerce politicians into doing his bidding. He saw politics as another avenue to cement his power and evade justice. He strategically aligned himself with influential figures, using his vast wealth to buy their loyalty. Escobar understood that having politicians in his pocket meant protection and influence. Of course, Escobar's entry into politics was not without controversy. He faced significant resistance from those who opposed his criminal activities. However, his cunning and ruthlessness allowed him to navigate the treacherous political landscape. One of Escobar's most audacious moves was his attempt to run for political office. Although he faced opposition, his vast resources and intimidation tactics silenced many of his critics. Escobar used his charisma and public image to sway voters, presenting himself as a champion of the people. He promised to bring prosperity and fight against corruption, conveniently ignoring the fact that he was the embodiment of corruption himself. Escobar's involvement in politics was a dangerous game. On one hand, he sought to legitimize his operations and gain protection. On the other hand, he threatened the very fabric of democracy. They say that every criminal's luck eventually runs out, and Escobar was no exception. Betrayal and the relentless pursuit of justice led to his downfall. His empire crumbled, his allies turned against him, and he found himself a fugitive on the run. But did he go down without a fight, or did he manage to cheat fate until his very last breath? Let's find out. As the noose tightened around Escobar, his once impenetrable empire began to crumble. Law enforcement agencies, determined to bring him to justice, intensified their efforts to capture the elusive kingpin. Escobar's extravagant lifestyle and flamboyant public image had made him a symbol of power and invincibility. However, the mounting pressure from international authorities and the Colombian government pushed him into a corner. Escobar's desperation grew as he became a fugitive, constantly on the move to evade capture. The world watched in anticipation as the manhunt intensified, with each side determined to outwit the other. Escobar's vast wealth and network of loyal associates allowed him to stay one step ahead of the authority for a considerable period. However, his actions were not without consequences. Escobar's ruthless pursuit of power left a trail of destruction. Innocent lives were lost, communities were torn apart, and fear gripped the nation. Despite the mounting pressure on Pablo Escobar, he managed to strike a deal with the Colombian government and the Medellín cartel. In exchange for serving a 5-year prison sentence, Escobar would not be extradited to the United States. Thus, the infamous Hotel Escobar, also known as La Cathedral, was built to his own specifications. This stunning complex, perched above Medellín, boasted extravagant amenities such as a jacuzzi, a football pitch, a bar, and even a helipad. It was the ultimate man cave. Escobar, always one step ahead, had a powerful telescope installed so he could watch over his daughter's city residence while talking to her on the phone. But his luxurious confinement would not last long. When tensions escalated and he murdered 4 of his lieutenants inside, the government had no choice but to tear up their agreement. Escobar escaped with most of his men, melting into the mountain behind his cathedral. Exactly how he was able to do so remains an open question. He had bribed his way to the highest levels of Colombia's military, political, and judicial structure. His easy escape suggested to many the complicity of his guards and the government soldiers. However, Escobar's power was waning. His closest allies had either turned on him or met their demise at the hands of rivals or law enforcement. With money seized, lost, or confiscated, his once mighty empire was running on fumes. Escobar's downfall came in a moment of intense confrontation. On December 2, 1993, after months of relentless pursuit, Colombian authorities closed in on the notorious drug lord. The search block located Escobar in Medellín's Los Olivos neighborhood on December 2, 1993. The day after his birthday, which, according to Mark Bowden's book Killing Pablo, he celebrated with marijuana, a birthday cake, and wine while talking to his son on the phone. While others burst through the door, members of the search block encircled the house. Escobar and a bodyguard stumbled onto an orange-tiled roof after being alerted. Both of them died from gunshot wounds to the head as they exchanged fire. Escobar's bullet penetrated his right ear and quickly killed him. In a dramatic exchange of gunfire, the era of impunity and power came to a dramatic end. So guys, this is it for today. Hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. We will see you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.